it is me. Hi, this is Diva. I came to work more, coming to you with the evening enchantment. Once again, we are here live for the Tuesday tea. We are being steeped in success. Excuse me. And I am author, speaker, and success strategist, Diva Moore. I just got off work, like literally, and I am just breathless and I am very excited as usual. So let me go through the morning, go through the formalities. I got a surprise for you today. Okay. First off, let's get this out the way. I saw the verdict. This ain't the place. We ain't going to talk about it today. My one opinion, no matter what happened in that courtroom, that man is still dead. Boom. End of conversation. That's all we're going to say about that today. Pray for his family. Pray for his daughter. That being said, I've been talking to you for a while now about this writer's retreat that I've got, that I've been invited to be a part of. Second one ever. First one I've accepted. And I've been very excited about it. And it's actually helped me to start writing again. And that's always a good thing, right? But I guess what I wanted to talk about today is the why I even got started writing and how that was influenced, because I've started to have people, as I'm in a second book now that's coming out in June. I'm working on my personal second book, the second part of the series for this, and people have started to ask me, well, what started you writing in the first place? And it's a complicated story, kind of. But it all starts with my belief of what happens to women in this country once they turn 65. See, excuse me. I started off my career as a paralegal, a real estate paralegal, and that's how I became a title agent in Florida. And I owned a title company in Florida right before the Great Recession. Yes, that's how I lost my business. This is not why I'm here. This is not a sob story. But one of the things that bothered me about the business, and one of the reasons why I never tried to go back when my agency disappeared like everybody else's did, is because of what I saw during that time I had that agency. And the thing that used to really get to me were the women who one day they have a husband, they're living la diva loca is the way I'd like to say it. The next day he's either deceased or he done left with his Florida girlfriend or whatever the heck but whatever it is, now she goes from being middle class, upper middle class to destitute. And it's that quick. And it bothered me for a long time. And when I lost my business, we all know that I mourned my business for years, like it was a child. But what made me not go back was that aspect of it. I really hated to see women in that capacity, because I understood really quick that with a little planning, it didn't have to be that way. Cut to now, where you guys know that I am the grad school grandma. One of the reasons why I went back to school was because I need to plan for my final third. Okay. I can't be one of those women. I've been homeless twice in my life. Old and poor is not what Diva's going to do. Think what you want. That's my opinion. But inspiration from that, how I came to that was through writing. And as I go back through my journals, which I try to do, from time to time, I'll just pick up a year and just say, let's see what the heck I was thinking about back then. And going back through my journals, I realized that this had been a theme for the past 15 years, going through my life, that I'll stop what I'm doing to say this to a woman. Listen, what are you planning to do after you're 60 years old, boo-boo? We live in this country. Women live to be 90 years old, statistically and realistically. If you retire at 65, what do you plan on doing with your life? Now, see, that's just me. I digress. I started going back through my journals, and going back through my journals, I realized that I had common things. There are ways that I deal with things that are patterns that repeat in my life, and having those journals and keeping them, but writing in those journals over the years has helped me develop into a better person. As I go back, I don't have to rely on my faulty memory, right? Because memory's faulty. Listen, me and my sister can look at the same picture. We both in the picture and have a different memory of taking that picture. That's just human nature, dude. That's just what it is. So, back to the journals. That's why I make journals now. That's why I try to get people into it, because you don't realize when you're writing the value of being able to go back and see what you thought in your words. Oh my gosh. And if you don't believe it, I'm going to give you one of the best. There's two journals, worldwide renowned, that you know of, that may or may not have changed your life. I'm not going to talk about the one because I don't want to bring us all down. But the one that's on my mind right now today is Miss Celie. Miss Celie started writing to God when she was married when she was 15. Oh, y'all like Bernie? I had to bring Bernie out today because that's about how I'm feeling today after work. That's my current mood. Look, I'm here. Miss Celie started writing around the age of 15. She felt she had no one else to tell her thoughts to. But in the course of reading her story, we see her growth. And that's the same thing that can happen to you through your writing. And someone that I respect and admire, who is teaching people how to bring their story out so that you can be Miss Celie, so that you can be the next Toni Morrison, so that you can tell your story. You can tell why your cage bird sings. The person that I go to help me with my writing is a Christian writer by the name of Mary Orth Moss. Now, that's my surprise, because guess what? She's here. Y'all ain't got to listen to me all night. Check this out. Bam! There she is. Okay. Hey, Miss Mary.
I love that story.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you. You're like, I mean, I have something going on in there.
You do.
If I slow down long enough to let it come out. It's good to see you. How you doing tonight?
I am fantastic.
Fantastic. Have you read The Color Purple?
I have seen the movie. I have not read the book, and it's on my list to actually read, because I really generally, if I do see the movie first, I have to read the book because I know that there's so much left out.
Of course there is. I'm not going to deny that. But also it's the format, because it's literally journal entries.
Then I would love it.
She starts off, Dear God. Every page is a letter to God until she finds her sister. And then she feels she has someone she can write to. But until then, it's all her internal turmoil, everything she's feeling, everything she puts into that journal. And even though it's a fictional story, ultimately it is a lesson in what the power of the word can do for you, whether you share it with anybody but God or not.
That is so true. So true. I've had some conversations like that myself. That's how my second book came about.
Do tell.
Oh, yes. I wrote it. My mom had died, and I stayed in the grief of losing her for several years. I didn't get any kind of grief counseling, and I eventually just shut down. And friends, my husband, my family said they aren't sure where I went, but they are glad that I came back. And it's not, I mean, I still functioned, did everything, but it was just inside, I was really shut down. And ultimately, as I, every morning I have my coffee on my deck, as some people who know me realize. And one morning I just realized that something had to change. And so I called out to God and said, okay, if you understand what I'm going through, if you even know I'm here, if you even care about my pain, I need a shooting star. And he
No.
sent one. Oh, yes, he did. Better than that, only God. I said, how? And so impudent I was. I said, okay, that could have been a coincidence. I need another one. And he did.
You know what? That's goose pimply.
Yeah, it still just gives me chills to think about how impudent I was, because I had turned my back on God those years. That was a huge unanswered prayer that my mom didn't get better. And so I just couldn't deal with it. And what slowly, most mornings after that, there would be a shooting star. Not every morning, but many mornings, slow and bright, so he could make sure that I saw them. And I realized that what he was telling me was, I've been here all along. You're the one who turned your back, but I waited for you to call out to me. And even in my impudence, he was so happy. He was like the father in the prodigal son.
Right.
He was just waiting for me to call out so that he could help me begin the process of healing.
What did you do after that? Is that when you started writing, or was there like,
That's when I started writing the book, the second book, The Woman with the Alabaster Jar. Um, Once I started that journey back to healing and started getting some glimmers of hope and revisiting my faith, which I say now is in spite of anyway.
mhm,
And it's so much deeper and richer because I've made a conscious choice to never turn my back again and to just live so deeply into my faith and rely so strongly on God. But once I started discovering that there was hope and healing because of my personality, I wanted to help others who were in grief to realize that there is hope and healing down the road. And what was so remarkable, and this is why I tell people, besides wanting to help others with your story, is that in the process of writing that book, God healed me in so many places that I didn't even know I needed healing, and in so many ways that I had no idea. And there were times I told him, no, this is going to be too hard. But I pushed through because I was so grateful. I didn't want to take a chance on turning my back on him again. So I was obedient. I was obedient in the process. So um yeah, that's my story.
you've written two books and
Two.
you're working on your third.
I'm almost finished with my third one now.
How long? Okay, what is the length of time between the first book and the second book?
10 years.
Wow. Now, were you writing that whole time?
I was, except for those few years that I was, in the grief. I had a really active blog, and I journaled very prolifically, and I can see the last day that I did a blog post. It went like right after the funeral, then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, then a month later, and then it just stopped. So I really didn't do a lot of writing for several years. And I say it was a shame because now I have so much that I want to write, and I certainly could have used those 5 years. But I trust that God used that time as He needed to use it, because I wouldn't have the same story to tell.
Of course not. Of course not. So 10 years between book 1 and book 2. How much time between book 2 and book 3?
It'll be 3.
So we're
Making
speeding up.
progress.
Have you been involved in any anthologies or any other writing
I
besides your
have.
book?
I'm in 2 anthologies.
Mhm.
And I like that too, because that allows me to just, have a short, concentrated focus and still share something important to me.
I've just I'm finishing up my contribution to a devotional
Oh, nice.
anthology. Um, it's my first, and I believe God sent, because it's exactly what I asked for as far as a devotional.
All right.
And I am looking forward, since I do have the mini hat squad going on. I'm looking forward to writing in at least 2 more before the end of the year.
Great.
I'm hoping those
Great.
opportunities present themselves and that I'm ready for them. But I agree with the writing shorter. It's easier to write 1,500, 2,000 words
Yes.
than it is to write 15,000, 30,000 words
Correct.
for a book.
Correct.
So, and yet you still get the benefits of being an author, being published, having your work read, all
That's
those
right.
good things.
That's right. Yeah, we need to be open to any opportunities. I often post opportunities for publication in my writers group, so that people know that there are all kinds of ways. You don't have to just write a book
Right.
to get your story out there. So it's important that we take every opportunity to tell our story.
Definitely. Definitely. So, talk to me about the writers retreat. I understand this is your first actual virtual retreat.
That's right. It is. It is. And of course, you are one of the wonderful presenters, as are 2 other of our friends. We're going to address the total writer: mind, body, spirit, because we have to have some wholeness and um, completeness in our lives in order to tell our story as well as we are able to. I just really believe that our health has to be a priority: mental, physical, and spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and nobody's ever where they want to be, and some people are just now taking those first tentative steps. But what we plan to do on that weekend is to pour into anyone who attends, to the point where they understand that their story matters and that it's important.
I
And
love
that's our
that.
goal. That's our goal.
I love that. And with my background, and anyone who doesn't know my background should stick around, because I'm not going to talk about it now, because you need to go and get your ticket. But one of the ways that I was able to break out of my own grief after the death of my daughter was to write, because one, wasn't nobody listening to me, because I was kind of a little crazy with alcohol and all that other kind of stuff. But I felt for the longest time that nobody understood what it was like to lose a child the way I did. And so writing what became like Miss Celie, I never thought that I would ever go back and read those, or that anyone would read them after I wrote them, but I never threw them out. And they
Wow.
traveled with me, which is really
Good.
dumb.
That's good. I'm glad.
But finally, someone did read them and recognize what they were. Cries for help, in some cases, flashes of brilliance in others,
Right.
but was able to helped me see the value of what was in those words. And it started a trend where, I keep a journal now. And people have said, well, people who keep journals are sad. Not necessarily. Happiness is fleeting. So I might want to go back and see what made me happy last year.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because happiness is not material at all. It's other stuff that, you have to put into it to get out of it. That's a whole different life. But I love teaching people how to journal, how to start with just a regular old steno pad if necessary, how to delineate their thoughts, free form thinking or free writing. And I'm really hoping that we can get to some of the mechanics to help someone who is aching to tell their story.
Right. Right.
To get
we will
started.
Do starting points.
Mm-hmm.
We will address that at the retreat too. So that
That's
writers
awesome.
can figure out, okay, what are the first few steps I need to take?
I wanted to say hello to a couple people before they disappeared on me. Hey, Miss Cassandra. We all know that me and StreamYard do not get along. We all know that. At least I had my mic on when the music stopped. I'm growing up right before your eyes. Hey, Miss Cassandra, thank you for joining us tonight. And we've got Miss Tish. Hi, Miss
Tish.
She's so fantastic.
She is. She's amazing.
And we've got Miss Dorissa. Now, this is a lady blowing up right here.
Yes, it is.
She's another author. Yeah.
Author, podcaster, all kinds of stuff going on.
I heard through the grapevine that she had a television show coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Dorissa, if you would be so kind, please, if you are still here, would you please drop this link for me? It is bit.ly/already written diva. Could you do that for me? Because those of you who have been listening and watching me and Miss Mary, I'm going to invite you to come and partake in this retreat. Now, listen, this is Diva. I'm always straight from the hip. Yes, there is an investment. But see, I'm also straight from the hip to tell you what you'll get back. What is your return on investment? Between me, Miss Mary, and the other two ladies that are sitting there, we probably know every self-publishing publishing company on this side of the Atlantic. I'm just saying. I've made 4 figures from my book, and my book is only 97 pages. Okay. Because it's not just the book, it's the things that come from the book. But from the book itself, I've made 4 figures. But writing articles and writing blog posts and getting started and all of that, that's all important work. And if you're ready to tell your story, if you're, everybody's not me. I'm not telling you to dye your hair red and buy funky glasses. But if you're ready to tell your story, if there's something that you need to get out, and maybe it's not your story.
Right.
Okay. This is Diva. Maybe it's not your story. Maybe it's a story with your message in it. Go ahead and check out bit.ly/already written diva. If you go in there today, we do have the discount code for you. You want to drop that, Miss Mary?
It's retreat. Easy to remember.
Retreat. If you drop retreat in there, you're going to get a nice discount. Now listen, this is coming up on us in the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, in the next less than 2 weeks. So we understand that it is an investment, but understand that you have to invest in yourself. Okay, nobody's going to believe in you ever more than you. Right. And your story is important. And even if you never intend to publish, getting started Listen, the name of my book is Get Off Your Ass, Get on Your Feet. Do I have to say it to you again? All right. Miss Mary, I'm actually a Christian too. People don't believe that, but I am.
I believe it.
I will fight you. Okay? I will fight you. Anyway, not you. Anyway, I need to get your address because I'm about to send you a copy of The Color Purple.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
No, I think it's a travesty that you haven't read it. That has nothing to do with being sweet. We're righting wrongs up in here. Breaking generational curses.
Love it. Love it.
We're going to send you, yes, Living with Divitude. I'm not even sending it to you. My company is. The Living with Divitude is going to send you a copy through Amazon of The Color Purple. Not just because we had this conversation. Miss Mary, you're awesome. And you have done so much to inspire my writing and to inspire me in other ways through your writing. Your devotional is still something I pick up every morning. I just love the energy that you give. And yes, you are a very Christian lady, but you have never beat me over the head with a Bible yet. And I appreciate that.
Never will.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to let you go as I say goodnight to my people. Thank you for coming by the tea place.
Thank you for having me. I loved our chat. It was fun. It always is.
You have a great evening.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm at 27 minutes now. Let's see what y'all got to say, because boom. Okay. Miss Tish, drop the link. You know how I do. Anybody who is looking to get at, thank you, Miss Darissa. Anybody who is looking to possibly think about the retreat, don't think about it. Come on and do what you need to do. Yes, it sounds like everything is about money, but at the end of the day, you have to invest in yourself to be your best self. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's the world that we live in. And if you have something in you and you have the tenacity to write, then I invite you to go ahead and check out the website. First of all, it don't cost nothing to click that link. Don't talk to me like that. Go ahead and click that link, check it out. Don't forget there's a discount code, retreat, and drop that in there. There's myself, there's Miss Jerry Darby, there's Miss Deborah Betts, and you've just met Miss Mary Orth Moss. And that's for my writers out there. For those of you who are not my writers out here, you are not getting off scot-free. I still got 2 minutes. Listen, I'm going to ask you today, what are you doing today? What are you watering today? Did you see my post today? Because what you focus on grows. What you water grows. So I want you to think about, and you know, the video that I posted today was about money, but it doesn't have to be about money. Remember that Diva is not always talking about money. Money is only a tool. Okay? But whatever it is that you focus on is what's going to grow. Now, right now, I'm focusing on school. That's why I'm a straight A student. But my business might be suffering a little bit. What are you focusing on? Take stock of what you're focusing on now before you complain that you're not getting what you want. You might need to change your focus. I'm just saying. Now, I got to go. Because like I said, I just got off work. I have not eaten anything but some corn chips. I got corn chip breath going on. Miss Mary got to go. My tea is cold, everything. I love y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me in Miss Diva's Tea Room. We are steeped in success up in here. This is Diva. I came to work. And once again, I worked it out. See you next week. Bye.